Hi, my name is Courtney Kalina, and my persuasive speech tonight is on Sid Barrett. And my specific purpose is to inform my audience on the prolific impact Sid Barrett had on Pink Floyd's start and how Sid set the tone for the rest of Pink's career. He looked the same, but he was somewhere else. Sid was hardly a physical journey. His time in the spotlight was very brief. Sid Barrett's story still fascinates 40 years after his departure from the public eye and 2 years after his death. As a huge fan and admirer of both the beginning when Sid was in the band, and of course my love grew for them when David joined the band, I really dug deep to realize how admired Sid was among his peers. In a series of intimate interviews with Pink Floyd's members, Roger Waters, David Gilmour, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright, each described the loss of Barrett with varying degrees of sadness, amusement, and even self-righteousness. All four men are clearly still affected by the loss of their friend, a man none of them knew from 1967 onward. The story, Sid tried acid, went insane, and Pink Floyd soldiered on, haunted by Sid's ghost for the rest of the band's career. Tonight I'm going to talk about the talented artist, the well-known, like man who suffered from one mental condition or another, which was elevated by his frequent use of LSD, resulting in, although no one ever really comes out and says how much it affected everyone who knew him. This would be the last picture that Pink Floyd takes with Sid Barrett. It is about 1967, and then he just faded away from the band. And this is when Roger took control and David joined. It wouldn't make much sense to explain the condition of Sid's mental stability without giving you an overviewing detail of the singer's deteriorating mental state. If the band were to continue, things would have to change. Music geeks the world over can speculate what direction the band might have taken with Barrett at the helm in the post-psychedelic era, but it was Waters who ultimately controlled the band. Had Pink Floyd up and faded into obscurity, Barrett might be only a footnote in rock history instead of a mythical figure that, in the words of Waters, reached for the secret too soon. Barrett may be the first member of a band whose role was a subject, muse, and inspiration. To give you an idea on Sid's influence on Wish You Were Here, an album-length meditation on the loss of Barrett. The haunting day Sid showed up at the studio, puffy looking, with a shaved head, and went about recording Shine On You Crazy Diamond. By now you have some idea how all the band members recount this day with kind of sick amusement, apparently unsure how to process such a sight. Barrett's specter also makes a significant contributions to The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, and Animals. If only as a window into the madness and alienation Waters clearly found so fascinating. Also, the recollections Waters has of the last time he saw Sid. It was at the Harrods department store in London. He saw Barrett from a distance buying candy. Waters did not approach his old friend, knowing that seeing people from the past upset Sid. He just let him pass unnoticed through the department store and faded back into obscurity, back into a legend. I don't know about you, but there's no doubt that the period of Pink Floyd's greatest commercial success coincided with the creative output expressed in the series of concept albums ranging from The Dark Side of the Moon, 1973, to The Final Cut, 1983, and including the ambitious multimedia project The Wall, 1979. However, it was the phase immediately prior to the success that is most interest from a historical and structural standpoint. Both style and form can trace to the gradual elaboration of compositional strategies, increasingly favored, more prolonged structured as opposed to a single song. In cultural terms, this evaluation was closely linked to the 60s London scene. Experimentation involving art and popular music, avant-garde, and counterculture found fertile ground. Given all this information, what are your thoughts on the Pink Floyd journey? There is no question Pink Floyd, very name, connotes something specific. An elastic echoing, mind-bending sound that works the charms of space. Pink Floyd grounded the limitless sound with exciting exploration of mundane matters of ego, mind, memory, and heart. touching upon madness, alienation, narcissism in society. The question of whether or not Sid would have stayed in his mind, and would the success of Pink Floyd as a band would be as great and as wide as it is. Thank you.